How you doing, everybody? Thought I'd do a live. I was going to do one yesterday, and then I decided against it. And then today, I thought, you know what? I'll just do an end of year wrap up. And yeah, I've had my bath, so I've got absolutely no makeup on, and look slightly horrendous. But listen, you've seen me like this before. So I wanted to talk about, well, anything that you want to talk about, really. But also, I wanted to talk about just how this year's gone in total. It's been a bit of a strange year for me. Um, Started the year off fairly positive. That was 2 jobs ago, and I was working as a trainer, not a health trainer, like teaching people or taking people through a qualification in recruitment, and I was doing that successfully for a number of years. And then I weren't training actually towards the end. I was doing more like engagement stuff. Anyway, went to Egypt in January and then came back just before the start of Feb and then got made redundant. You probably already know this if you've watched the channel, but just for those who might not know, and I've never been made redundant before, so I had no clue like what to do. I knew what to do, get another job, but I'd never been made redundant, so I didn't know how to handle it, if you know what I mean. Anyway, I ended up taking this job, and I swear to God, it was the worst thing I could have ever done. It was back in recruitment for this company in in Barnsley, and it was absolutely horrific. Everybody, horrific. Um, there was lots of things that were wrong with it. Like it wasn't. I don't know. There was no. Just it wasn't run like a proper recruitment company, in my opinion, and it was just really difficult to work there. But what made it worse was the people that worked there. I didn't dislike everybody, but there was a couple of characters that I just could not get on with them. Like tried, but I just couldn't get on with them. Like I just didn't like them, and it just made every day that I went to work was just awful. And what I noticed during this time was like my channel started to really suffer because I didn't want to do anything. Like I had no get up and go. It was like all my energy was like sapped, if you know what I mean. Um, Literally, I'd go to work and they'd there was like 4 people that worked there, 2 bosses. It was just ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. And like one of the people that consider themselves the boss. I hate that, but I'm going to use it because anyway. Um, all they wanted to do was listen to like crap music all day long, and it drove me absolutely mad. So it'd be like High School Musical, and then Taylor Swift, and then just. You might like Taylor Swift. I don't. I don't even couldn't even name one of her songs, to be completely honest with you. It's just not my thing, and it was just banging out all day, all day. And I just didn't like it. Anyway, eventually I thought I'm gonna have to leave because if I don't, I'm gonna have a nervous breakdown. And I ended up getting this other job, which I've got now. And honest to God, it's brilliant. Absolutely love it. And what I've noticed, I've gone back into recruitment again, and I'm doing deals already. Even in like December, I've got a few people jobs, and yeah, it's just really good. I'm really enjoying it. And what I'm seeing now on the back of that, being happier, and I'm not happy about this. That's another thing I'll tell you about in a minute. Um, what I've seen about on the back of that is I've started to want to do the channel properly again. I always wanted to do the channel. Don't get me wrong. I've always wanted to do the channel, but like I just find it difficult to like motivate myself. Like you remember when I was doing like loads of stuff in the house, and I was like doing this, like this bed that I'm sat in, for instance. It's not everyone's cup of tea, I know, but like before poster, I did it. I went and got the branches and I chopped them all down and put them all together and did everything. And like I decorated all my bedroom the way that it is, you know. And I'm on laptop, by the way, tonight. I've worked out I can use. I'll stop using the computer. Um, stop using the computer because for some reason YouTube stopped me from using it. But like now it's working again on this laptop, so rather than my mobile, I'm using this. But but yeah, getting back to it, I basically went through the stage of just not wanting to do anything. Like, and my house come to a grinding halt, and my channel was really struggling. I was struggling with the channel and all sorts. Anyway, the good news is now that I've got this new job, which I'm very, very happy with, I can see comments coming through I'm going to mention in a minute. Now that I've been to Egypt and just got back from spending some time with my husband, which I needed to do that because I really missed him and I wanted to go out there and just spend some time with him. And I was looking forward to. But to be fair, I'd only been in August, but this time. Um, anyway, I'll tell you about that in a minute. But anyway, what's happened is I've come back and already I've started off doing stuff in the house. So what I've decided to do now is, the my staircase going up is one of those with spindles. It's not an old one because it used to be like enclosed, these houses. And then they've obviously opened it up and then put a staircase in. I don't know when the staircase were put in, but it's dark wood underneath and it's really nice. So decided to strip all the paint off. And let me tell you, it's too late now because I've started. I've got to do it. Like I can't stop. But the problem is I have to finish the staircase, the banister and the spindles and everything, and then I can't leave it there. Then I'm gonna have to get some. I'm gonna get some of that French chic browning wax. I'm gonna put some of that on to protect the wood. Then I'm gonna seal it, and then the banister will all be natural wood again, which is what I want. But then I have to say, well, like the stairs, I'm not happy with them anymore. So if you've seen my stairs, you've seen that they like I papered it all because it was really plain and boring, and I papered it all, and then I put all my gold mirrors. So I've got like mirrors from the bottom to the bottom to the top. And I'm going to be keeping all the mirrors, but I've decided now that I don't like the gold wallpaper that I've got up, and I actually want to either do like a sage color. In fact, you know what? I think I will do sage. And then I was thinking the stir treads, and then I'm gonna get the carpets from upstairs. I'm just gonna have floorboards and I'm just gonna paint them. And I've got floorboards in bathroom, um, which are currently covered sage. But what I'm thinking of doing is just I can see comments there. I'm gonna read them in a minute. But you know what I'm like, if I stop talking, I'll go on to something else. But I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get some of that French chic in like a brown, like a toasty brown. I don't know what colours they're. I'm gonna have a look. But anyway, I'm gonna paint all the floorboards. I'm going to paint down the stairs, so it's all going to be the same colour, and then the kitchen's going to be painted that colour. The front room, I'm just going to leave it. Well, I think I'm going to leave it. Maybe I'll do the front room as well because they're tiles. And the other thing about that front room, I tiled that as well, and now I'm thinking, do I pull those tiles up and put a carpet down? You know what? I never stop. Anyway, let's have a look. Where are my Ednas? Don't know what I've done with my glasses, everyone. Oh, they're here. Right, let me just put my Ednas on. Beef of BD2. B for Brad BD. I wish I know what that were. Hello everyone. Hope all is well. Hello. And Julie. Are you Julie? Are you Sarah? Love your Egypt clips. Hope you have had a Merry Christmas. Take care. You know what, Julie? I did. I had an all right Christmas. I did a dinner yesterday. Did a fabulous dinner actually. I'll put it in one of my vids and show you what I ended up with. But every year I have a vegetarian Christmas dinner because my mum and Simon are veggies. I used to be years ago, not anymore, obviously. And I say obviously because you've seen me probably anyway, you've seen me cooking on channel. But I always have a vegetarian Christmas, and literally the dinner this year cost us a fiver for all of us, literally under a fiver. Simon got the vegetables from somewhere. He got carrots, parsnip, swede, sprouts, yeah, and they were 50p. I don't know where he got them from for out lot, 50p. He got like a corn nut roast that he got from Iceland, which had only been a couple of quid. So it weren't even a fiver Christmas dinner for all three of us. And then what I did Yorkshire puddings. I make some mince pies, just knock some pastry together. I knocked up six mince pies, and yeah, and then just got some gravy out the cupboard. It was fairly simple and straightforward. UK Cemetery Explores with Dave. Hello, Sarah. Hello, everyone. Hello, Dave. Nice to see you. Oh, that's unusual. Mahmoud Ibrahim, 3500. It's not my husband, is it? You know what? It might be. It might be. Um, in fact, I'm going to text him. Just hang on. 1 second, everybody. I don't think it is him. We'll find out. Um, oh, he's texting me, so I think it might be him. Yeah, it's him laughing. The cheeky get. Yeah, we moved to the chat, everybody. And then we've got Undercliff Cemetery in Bradford. I live next door. Amazing place. I've done Undercliff a couple of times. Last time I did it, there was I looked inside some of the mausoleums, and you could see like all the urns and other bits and pieces. I don't know what's going on, but my cheeks are really red tonight. Undercliff actually is the filming location of a famous 60s film called Billy Liar. Um, yeah, he is. It's watching. It's a good job my husband doesn't mind seeing me without makeup because I look horrendous tonight. But hang on, UK Cemetery. No, I haven't been that far out. You know what, UK Cemetery, you definitely should go to Undercliff. It's absolutely beautiful. The stones that they've got in there, unbelievable. There's some really influential people. There's a guy called, oh, what's his name? Forget his name. It's Summit Burns. Anyway, was a massive cloth manufacturer from Manchester. Lived in Bradford. Started out in Germany, moved to Bradford. Made all of his money there because Bradford used to be like, the cloth capital, didn't it? It used to do very well. And then he went to Manchester and he opened premises out there, and the wool capital Bradford was not cloth. It's a fabulous, fabulous cemetery. Honestly, it's unbelievably gorgeous. I need to definitely go back. So, yes. So, Egypt. It was really, really, really nice. Went to Sham. We had a couple of days in Sham, and then we ended up flying out to Luxor. I actually put a video up on the channel, like a little bit of a vlog of like some filming that I did with me and Mahmood, but we were knackered. We ended up flying to Hurghada. We had to fly early morning, and when we got there, literally the sun was just about rising, and it was freezing. It was really, really cold. Um, but we were waiting for the taxi fella. It was there, the taxi, but what he'd done is he'd gone round to another terminal. So we were waiting for that fella for ages. But then eventually, when he did turn up, he was a really nice fella. He took us a few places actually. Well, he took us to two places. He took us to Dendara as well. I put a video up from that, and you need to see that, everybody, because that is stunning. And yeah, and we ended up doing the desert drive again, but this time it just, you know what? Honest to God, if you were a nervous passenger, you'd be absolutely terrified because driving through, literally at one point, right, my mood was sat in the front and I was sat in the back, and all of a sudden, oh, are you mother? All of a sudden, there was like two trucks, like, with trailers in front of us, one on that side and one on that side, and they'd moved, and he decided that he was going to go right through the middle and then cut through them. Honestly, my mum would be absolutely terrified if she went there, but it was fabulous. And when we went to our apartment, which is our usual place where we stay in Luxor, and we just had a great time. We went to Banana Island. Mahmood did his talk about life in Egypt. That video's up. So to be fair, most of the filming that I didn't do a great deal of filming because I just wanted to spend time with Mahmood, and we'd seen plenty of other places, but I did do some filming. Patricia, hello, Sarah. Love your channel and your Egypt blogs. Thanks very much. You know, they don't get all the views that perhaps my other videos do, but to be fair, I don't really care because I didn't start the channel for views either, and if I did, I wouldn't be doing it anymore, you know, because it's not a massive YouTube channel. But the people that follow the channel, um, you know, they'll like a mixture of things. You know, like one minute I'll be cooking, the next minute I'll be doing something on the house. You know, going to a graveyard. In fact, that brings me on to what I'm going to do this weekend. I don't know if so. Tomorrow, I want to go out and I want to do some filming, and I'm thinking I'm going to go to. There's a place in Denby Dale that I've seen that I'm thinking of visiting. I've driven past it many times, but also there's a place in Doncaster, and I drive past this place all the time, and it's basically just like a quite a rundown area of Doncaster. You know, you just drive through it and not think of anything. But there's just so many gorgeous buildings there. There's loads and loads and loads of history there, and there's an old church, and it's actually used now. It's not got a graveyard. It's literally just like a Methodist or something. Um, and outside, it's got like all these ornate carvings. Honestly, I can't tell you how beautiful it is, and the orange and white, it's stunning. So I wanna go and have a close look at that, and further down the road from that is an old boarding school, which is not open anymore, so I wanted to have a look at that, but my point is, it's not necessarily that I'm gonna be going looking at those buildings, I just wanna go and look at that area because I find it very interesting. UK Cemetery with Dave. Highgate Cemetery, Burnley. Out the back, some graves are open. You can see outlines of coffins. It's a abandoned pit at the back, hidden away. Amazing place. You know what? If I could drive over to Burnley tomorrow, I'd definitely go and have a look at that. You got it on, Dave? If so, I'll have a look. But yeah, everybody. I mean, to be fair, I've come on live just to see who's knocking about really and just sort of have a little bit of a chat. Um, as I said, tomorrow I'm going to be going somewhere. There'll definitely be a video on the channel tomorrow night. All right, nice one, Dave. Patricia, have you and your husband found somewhere to build your house? Not yet. Um, the problem that we've got at the moment is the cost of land in Luxor is going up. If we're going to build anywhere, we're going to be building in Luxor. I want a place out in Gorna, which is where my mood's mum and dad live, and his brothers and sisters and stuff, which is in Luxor, but it's not necessarily the touristy bit. Well, we're on the West Bank anyway, so um, it's not tour. It is touristy. Yeah, there are tourists there. Of course, there are. You know what I'm trying to say? It is near the tourist area because it's near the tombs, but it's not touristy, if you know what I mean. It's like real Egypt. So I would like to live around there, but then there's also another place near the Nile where our apartment is, where we always stay. And that has got some beautiful places around there, but the land is just getting expensive, and it's one of those. It's getting the money together. Do you know what I mean? Especially um after the year that I've had. I mean, I'm certainly not got massive amounts of money saved up. Um, but I need to definitely recover, and then me and my mood will just pool our money and we'll see what we can find. But yeah, so we'll definitely be doing it. I'd like to think that we'll be definitely getting some land purchase next year. Um, and at least we'll just have something, and then it'll just be a case. I mean, I'm just going to let my mood deal with it, to be fair, because I don't really understand how it works out there, but he knows what he's doing. And yeah, we'll pick something up nice and cheap. But to be fair, I wanted to buy like an old house, you know, something that's already built with like established gardens and stuff. Because even though it's desert majority, there are you know, there are plenty of places. I mean, Luxor's quite lush because it feeds off the Nile and stuff, and it's It's very nice. But what I want is I want an old Egyptian house, not a mud one, like a brick one. Um, but I want it with I want I want a pine I want a not a pine tree. What it called? Is it a palm tree? Yeah, I want a palm tree in the garden and some lemon trees and stuff like that. Um, Nice one. Thanks, Dave. I appreciate you pinning that to me. I'll have a look at that after this live. So everybody, I've not really got a great deal of conversation in me tonight, if I'm completely honest. I just wanted to come on and let you know that obviously that we're still kicking and let you know that I'm back in the country, but you probably already know that anyway. And uh that's pretty much it, to be honest. Keep yourselves peeled for this weekend. There's definitely going to be a video. And that's it, everybody. I'll see you in the video tomorrow. It'll be able to be out tomorrow if I get time to edit it all in time, or sort of the very latest by Sunday. But lovely. Where shall I send it, Sarah? Oh, you're going to email me the link. Email it to ukgraveyard@gmail.com. And I get all my emails for the channel there. So any emails that anybody wants to send me, if you can send them to ukgraveyard@gmail.com. Um, I can respond there. Let me tell you about this fella that emailed me the other day while I'm here. So I can't remember what he's called now. I've got the email. In fact, you know what? I'm going to read it to you. I'm going to read it to everyone. It's right interesting. It's this fella from Oldham. He said he's 78 and he's been watching my channel. Says he likes it, and he remembers like Oldham. Let me just have a look at my sent items. Sorry, everyone. Just bear with me. Here we go. This is what he said, right? Listen to this, everyone. It's fabulous. Hello, sir. I've just been on your YouTube channel for the first time, and I must tell you how interesting I found it. All your interests are my interest. I've lived in Oldham now for 77 years at Hollingwood, near Oldham Centre. I used to live in Hollingwood. He's lived at various other places like Shaw and Hathershaw, and now live in Manchester. I worked in Oldham all my life, many years of them up for the Oldham Parks Department. I did lots of work in Alexandra and Wornath and Hollins Parks. So he knows about all the parks and everything, which is very, very interesting to me because I really like Oldham Parks. The bit that really caught my attention, though, was this. I worked on demolition in Oldham in the 1960s, some slum clearance. So if you've been watching my channel, everybody, you'll know that I've mentioned the slum clearance a number of times. Um, and that was basically something that was driven by the government. They sent this fella up from London who decided that Oldham was a slum and it needed clearing, and they knocked down all the infrastructure in the town. Um, Now he talks about St Peter's, so I picked up on St Peter's. Um, where is it here? Sorry, everyone. Listen to this. I asked him about St Peter's graveyard in Oldham. This St Peter's graveyard in Oldham has always fascinated me, and the reason why it's always fascinated me is because my mum's always told me the story of it. My granddad told me, I think, at the time. And for those of you that may not know, in the 1960s, Oldham Council decided that they were going to pull up St Peter's Church. So in Oldham, you've got St Mary's, which is the parish church, and then across the way you had St Peter's Church, it was up from the early 1800s, and it were burying people from the early 1800s. And in the 1960s, what they did is they decided they were going to pull it all up and build a shopping centre on there. Spindle Shopping Centre sits on there at the moment. Prior to that, it was St Peter's Precinct, which was like a really old, not a really 1970s. It was a wonderful place, actually, St Peter's Precinct. I really liked it. We called it Windy City, and it was like a modern shopping centre that never ever took off. I think there was a Tesco's downstairs. There was a True Farm where we used to get our school uniform at the top. I think Job Centre were there. There was a couple of jewellers, but it never ever 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 set really did off. And it had like all these underpasses and stuff. It were absolutely brilliant. Um, Anyway, they knocked that down. But before that was the church, and this is and the graveyard, right? Um, Listen to this. I also recall, this is another email reply. I won't read it all because it's personal email, but it's put, I also recall adverts in the Oldham Chronicle for men to dig up and remove the contents of the burial ground at St. Peter's Church. I had nothing to do with this, but I did go and have a nosy many times. And what you said about the rings and jewels, etc., being found in coffins was common knowledge at the time. So basically, I've told it on the channel before where people were buying rings, gold, jewelry, and stuff that was found. There were loads of it, like going around pubs in Oldham, and people were buying it. And I'm pretty sure I've got a ring. It's a very my grandma gave it to me years ago, and I'm pretty sure it's one of them because it's old. Do you know what I mean? It's not got big diamonds in it. It's got a tiny, tiny, tiny little stone in it. But I need to find that actually. I think it's on my tray of jewelry there, or I've got it safe somewhere. I know that. Anyway, it's put about the rings and jewelry, etc., found in the coffins was common knowledge at the time. It was a pretty grim sight. Seeing the graveyard dug up, coffins, bones, and gravestones all over the place. It was a very large graveyard and very old. You would have been in your element. I absolutely bleeding well would, yeah. I absolutely bleeding well would. I'm fascinated with that. And I tell you what, I'm glad to see as well. I've talked about this before. On the back of St Mary's, what they did, St Mary's wasn't as long as it is now, and that's because they took some of the brick from St Peter's and they built the vestry on the back of St Mary's, and there's like a stone in the wall. I think it was 1967 it was complete. So yeah, fantastic. Love stuff like that. So yeah, I'm really feeling this weekend that I need a graveyard tour, I think, and I need an exciting graveyard tour. I think it's long overdue. The other thing I'd like to do is I'd like to focus on war graves. I like war graves as well. What I mean by that, I don't mean I like war graves. I like to feature war graves because I like to tell the stories of the people that are in them. So maybe we'll do a focus on that as well. Anyway, everybody, I'm going to call it quits. I am going to just finish here though. Patricia, Sarah, it's lovely to hear an update. Oh, thanks so much, Patricia. Julie, St. Peter's precinct. I loved roller skating down the steps. Down the steps? Oh, yeah, because they were dead long, weren't they? And then you could just go down. Am I right? But yeah, you used to be able to go up, didn't you? You could go up with your coat on and your roller boots or roller skates, whatever you had at the time. You could open your coat and it'd just take you, wouldn't it? I was told years ago that the fellow that designed that lived in the Bahamas, the architect or something. He worked from Oldham anyway. That's what I heard. I don't know who the architect was. I probably should look into it. But someone told me it was an ex-boyfriend actually that I was with when I was a teenager, and he told me he said, "Oh yeah, the architect lived in the Bahamas, and he didn't realise how windy Oldham was, and that's why the design wasn't very good for Oldham apparently, because it's just bang up on top of a hill." So anyway, everyone, I think I'm going to call it quits at that because I don't think I've got any conversation left in me. I'm going to go back downstairs in a minute and I'm going to do some more scraping on that staircase. I will show you what I'm doing on that staircase at some point. Maybe I'll just wait until I've done it all. And also, I need to get the carpet up. Um, that's going to be a nightmare because I know when I put it on, I cut it up in pieces. Just put it on the thing and just whack loads of nails in. So I'm going to have to try and find those nails now. I think the tacks. Anyway, I don't know everyone. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'll be out and about tomorrow. And yeah, I'll see you over the weekend. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.